where we speak truth to power. Please join me in a few minutes. I know it's been late, but I wanted to talk about this thing about just this stuff going on in South Africa now is totally unacceptable. We cannot carry on with this. This is not acceptable at all. Uh, Let me just make sure we understand that. And also, we might talk about Iran and what is going on there. But please do join us. Share the broadcast. Help us with more people. Just want to make sure you can hear me all right. So I'm working on that as I speak. Let me see if you can actually hear me. Can you hear me? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Yeah, I think you can hear me. So let's just see what is going on right now. Um, we're going to also be live on TikTok. Greetings, and welcome. We're going to be live shortly on TikTok. I just wanted to give you a heads up because it's really not acceptable what's going on. Give me 1 second. Let me just try and make sure I've got everything lined up so that you can see me. Please do share the broadcast. I welcome. Thanks for joining Citizen Wire, the platform where we speak truth to power. Help us reach more people. We really do need your support in growing this platform. It's very, very important, and we have to really speak about what is going on. It is really shameful, and I think that now we need to see uh, President Ramaphosa taking action. He must take action immediately to address this. So I'm here to really call out for that. We need President Ramaphosa of South Africa to act now. This is not acceptable at all. We can't accept this nonsense. We can't have black people attacking black people on the continent of Africa. This is madness. This is insanity. So we're going to talk about that. Let me just bring this up. So please share the broadcast, reach more people, grow the platform. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I need your support. I need your help to grow this. As you're coming in, give us a thumbs up, share the broadcast, let us reach more people. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I need your help. I need your support. I need you to help me grow the platform. Give us a thumbs up as you're watching. Shortly, we're going to go live, and I'm just going to do exactly that. What I wanted to do was also to share to 1 or 2 places. So I might just do that before I go too far ahead, because I want to make sure we all participate. And as you're coming in, please, let me just write the message here. Please subscribe, hit notification button, give us thumbs up, help us reach more people. We do need your support. Let's see those thumbs up as you're coming in, please. Thank you so very much. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. There's so much going on in Africa right now that we need to really cover, but I wanted to talk about this because this black on black crime has really got to stop. It has got to stop. And it is worrying that it's not been, I've not seen anything from President Ramaphosa addressing or coming straight out and actually calling a halt to this and saying, no way, you do not in any way, shape, or form attack fellow Africans, no matter what the case is. And then we can still reiterate and we will look at the numbers. We'll try and look at the numbers and to see, this is alarmist. There is something obviously behind this. There is an engineered process behind what is going on. And I think we need to dive deeper into it and look at that closely. It is a concern. It is a big, big, big concern. So as you're watching, please do share. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. 1 second, please. Let me just, did I just put it there? Okay, I forgot this one. So I'm just taking my phone I just realized I need to have the other phone as well because when I'm doing the broadcast, I need to have the other one available. So just give me a second. I thought I had it ready here, but it's not. So just be a few minutes, a few seconds, should be up and running. So, but please share. Help us with more people. I mean, it's unacceptable that South Africans, no matter the situation that they have turned, I mean, you'll be seeing the video and it's horrifying what we are seeing. It is literally horrifying. And they're in some kind of, South Africans are literally in some kind of self-hate moment. And there's been, if you notice, the white Africans, South Africans are very quiet. They're nowhere to be found. They're nowhere to be found on this issue. They're not even saying anything. They're not saying peep about it. they've gone remarkably silent. Now, I don't hear Trump saying anything about this. I don't hear Trump, you know, you know, so saying or doing anything about this. So anyway, I'm gonna try and let's carry on a bit. Let me just try and put this in here so that I can then be able to share it as I go along. And I hope many people will, will take it and share as well. Because we need to really look at this. I'm just gonna uh, do a bit more sharing of this information because it is horrific. It's horrifying. It is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. Please let us put a stop to this. We cannot be doing to us this to ourselves as Africans. This is, I mean, this is horrifying, 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 horrifying. So anyway, I'm going to come back to that. Now we're going to go live right now. Now we are going live on YouTube, TikTok. Greetings and welcome. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. You are watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. As you're watching, please help us share the broadcast, help us with more people. It is really sad what we are hearing, what we're witnessing in South Africa. So if you're joining me for the first time and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to my platform on YouTube. We need to grow the YouTube platform and we need your support. We really do need your support. I'm hoping that I can get the other thing going. So as you're coming in, give us a thumbs up, help us with more people. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. There are too many violent things that are going on right now in South Africa against non-South Africans. And what is worse is that the South Africans don't even know their history, or they don't care. And that the actions that they're showing is truly troubling. And we need to address those concerns. Please subscribe to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to the power. We take a moment to say to remember Sadio Kamara of Mali, the Minister for Defense that was tragically was taken out with his family in his home by terror groups, and also Kone, yeah, Mobodi Kone, the intelligence chief, was also taken out in Burkina Faso. Please do share this broadcast. Help us with more people. We really do need your support. Share the broadcast. I'm waiting for people to join me. Please go ahead. I'm waiting for my phone to. I didn't realize it had gone off that much. So please, as you're coming in, share the broadcast. Share this live. Help us with more people. It is of immense importance that we talk about this. So I'm waiting for people to join me and to be able to, play a role in what is going on. Give us tap on the screen, share. Let us reach more people with your support. I think people can hear me loud and clear. What is horrifying about this is that we're watching Diana. Hi, Diana Agay. Greetings. One man, greetings. We're watching something that is horrifying, and the people of many, the so-called, you're not hearing the Western world say anything about this. They're not saying anything, and they're very quick to talk to us about democracy. But on this, they're gone quiet. I wonder why. I wonder why that is the case. So please share. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. This is something that should move each and every one of us. And as you're watching me, give us the thumbs up. Help us share the broadcast. Help us with more people. We do need your support. Please tap in and share. Greetings. Could you be the one? My battlefield, Nana, Mickey Man, Smokey, Diana Agay, Kelly Saturday. Those of you joining, as you're watching, tap, and share. You're looking, the message is simple, straight and direct. President Cyril Ramaphosa must act now. Put an end to the killing, to the unaliving, to the unaliving of people. President, please give us a thumbs up as you're watching. Help us grow this platform as you're watching us on TikTok. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We do need your support. What is going on in South Africa is something we can no longer ignore. It is impacting not only South Africans, but the entire Africa. And the ramifications of what they're doing. The South Africans who are engaged in this criminal and unacceptable act What they're doing is not something that we should condone, nor accept, nor tolerate on the African continent. You do not go around and harming and hurting people who look like you. That is self-hate right there. That is self-hate indoctrination. Look at the lady there. She got up. Somebody, I don't want to show the video. I'm not sure. I might show you later. Someone literally threw a brick at the woman. They threw a brick at her and she collapsed on the floor. And she got up. She got up dead. They threw a brick at her neck. It's a good. Luckily, she did that. Brick did not hit her head immediately, but she got knocked down. Now I'm not too sure if I'm allowed to show it on TikTok. So I'm very careful about what I'm going to show. I want to just, but I want to show you something. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, please help us share this podcast. We do need your support in sharing this, because this is something that is just, it is just beyond words now. What is going on? I mean, I will come and talk about other issues in terms of Nigeria as well. You know, but it is of immense importance. Atleri, greetings to you all. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. As you're watching me, if you haven't joined me before, I'd also like you to, could you do me a favor? Go to my YouTube right now. Go to my YouTube and hit the subscribe button. We need the support to grow the YouTube platform. Because it's very important that we get more views, more support. We are calling on the president, Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, to act now and Black South Africans attacking Africans. This is insanity. Sensational, greetings and welcome. Mugaza, greetings and welcome. We need, this is unacceptable. We cannot allow this to happen. And the Western world is totally silent. Let me show you, those of you who are going to be on my who are on TikTok, you are going to see this video. Let me just show you. So let's quickly go and this is horrifying. Listen, look at this. Look at this video. Look at this video. Look at this. These are South Africans. It's as though they're preparing to go to war. Now, who are they going to war against? Who are they going to war against? Their fellow Africans. Can you believe this? They are literally preparing to go to war against fellow Africans who are in the same, who are stuck in the same enslaved slave camp that the colonials have placed on the African continent, that we must make sure we break from. And the worst thing, the horrifying thing of all of this, is that they are doing this to fellow Africans, forgetting that they are facing the same problems. As I speak to you right now, South Africans must remember that 72% of the land that belongs of South Africa is still in the hands of the colonials. 72%. This is no joke. I will bring the evidence as I go along and we talk about this. But it is important that those of you watching me, that you share this broadcast. We must have a proper discussion about this, and I would like to bring some people on as we're talking. So if this really, if you are an African, you need to share this to fellow Africans. We need to talk about this because we have to confront this. You see, this is, you can clearly see the system. There is a clear pattern of a systemic agitation that's been stoked up. People they're stoking up the fires in South Africa, and then they get the fires. They are directing where the fires are going to go against fellow Africans. It is not fellow Africans who are owning 72% of the land in South Africa. It is not it's not Black Africans who are who control the economy of South Africa. It isn't. This is the economy is controlled by people who are not Africans, and that's the plain fact. And there's obviously really difficult situations now on ground because of the war crisis and everything else. But there is a kind of like a how can I put it, machination going on, because to see people, look, listen to this one. I want you to hear this. Listen. You see? Look at that. Look at this. Please share. They are literally, look at that. See that? Against their fellow Africans. Look at this. Look at that. You see? Look at that. And then they are now going to go out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. and they're going to go on the streets looking for fellow Africans. Schools, they look at this. Look at, and they got sticks. Can you see that? Can you see this? Can you see that? So this is by my friend Isabako who shared that. So I had to just cut that clip there, and I know and I because I follow him. It's really important that we speak up about this. This is totally. I mean, look at this. Just look again. Look, please share. These South Africans are singing war songs against fellow Africans. They are singing war songs against Africans. This is insanity. This is I am running out of words to even begin to explain. Look at this. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They are literally baying for blood of fellow Africans. And their justification is because, oh, they're coming with for our women. They're coming for, but somebody has taken your land and you're saying nothing. You're saying nothing about that. Please, as you're watching, you are listening to Citizen NY, the platform where we speak truth to power. What are your thoughts on this? I'd love to hear your views. I'll bring you in and we can talk about this. You know, it says all countries need to move out of South Africa. Yes, yes, jewelry bags. Yes, we should. I'm gonna follow you. I'll try and bring you on. Lassis Sola. You know, we cannot. Let's hear your views. I want to hear your views on this because this is a topic that we can no longer ignore. I'm going to try and throw you an invite. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can get some guests in because I am watching this video. Like I said, even in the picture that I put on the screen, you know, I had to be very careful not to say too much. Let me see. Yes, okay, Madam Maga. So I'm going to invite people on. I'll throw you an invite and we can talk about this because this is impacting all Africans. By the way, they have looked at the figures that they're mentioning, that they're saying Africans are taking everything else and they're coming to the place. Right now in South Africa, the largest population of people who are not Black South Africans, outside of Black South Africans, are, guess what? Europeans. There are 2 million Europeans in the nation of 62 million. There are 2 million. And they are now putting their focus on Black people. And they're doing this. This is horrifying. This is absolutely horrifying. And we cannot ignore this anymore. So I'm sharing this and I'm urging you, as you're watching it, share it. Let us have this discussion. It's a Friday. It's been a lovely day too. But the thing is, the concern here, right, is that the killings going on, the conditioning. You see, what South Africans are going through is literally colonial, mentally enslaved indoctrination. Mentally enslaved indoctrination. There is a book which I have somewhere. I don't know if I've got it. I have it somewhere here. I hope I've got it. It's called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Post-Traumatic Slave, PSTT. Yes, I will show you the. Yeah, I'm going to bring you a couple of books and we will talk about things. And we need to remind them. So these books here, I don't know if you can see it if you're watching. You can see that. So this book here, sorry, that one there. Sorry about that. That one. Post-traumatic slave syndrome. Post-traumatic slave syndrome. That book right there. You need to get it. There is no doubt that many in South Africa are suffering from the post-traumatic slave syndrome. And of course, we are suffering from neocolonialism, the last stage of imperialism, which is going on. The refusal of those who colonized us to let go when we're saying, no, we want to take back control. So it's not up to them to do this anymore. We need to do it. So these are two books that I wanted you to really, you need I want to encourage you to look into. Sorry about this. So there you go. Hang on. It's mirroring me. So I'm just gonna, so yeah, you see that? Neocolonialism, Kwame Nkrumah, neocolonialism, the last stage of imperialism, and post-traumatic slave syndrome by Joy DeGroy. Now, the South Africans and all of us in Africa, and I don't say this lightly, we are all it is clear now that we are suffering from some kind of psychological distress. And I don't say that people are going to go, oh, they're just trying to make excuses. No. When you have been conditioned to turn and hurt you, to turn your anger against yourself, against your fellow people looking like you, then something is wrong up there. Something is wrong, and we need to be addressing it. So please share this broadcast. Tap and share. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'd love to hear your views. I'm going to be showing you some things as I go along. So let me just quickly go into my TikTok. If you can, I'd like you to share and help me reach more people. We really do need to talk about this. And we're calling on, the first thing is we are calling on President Cyril Ramaphosa. He should already be out right now addressing this. He should be going to the places. He should go to the hospitals where and apparently they have unalived one is it Somalian or Sudan or Somalia. They have unalived one man, right? And and this is not right. This is not acceptable. They've literally unalived him as I speak. There might be a video, but again, as you know, on TikTok, you have to be careful what videos you share, and they don't allow you to speak about things that concern you because somehow they've got restrictions. This is something that is horrifying. Greetings, Abu, and those of you joining me. Please go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube right now. I'd really appreciate your support. I do need your support in growing the platform. There's about almost we're close approaching 7,000 subscribers. We need to get to about 10,000, 11,000 subscribers, and also beyond that, because of the work we want to do. We need to do. We need to also be going to. We will be going to Burkina Faso sometime this year with your help. So please tap on the screen, tap away, share, grow the platform, help us with more people. Mr. Bronson, greetings. Abdul Wahab Mohammed, greetings. Ekwesu, greetings. Those of you who are watching, we need to be very aware of what is happening. We can no longer be silent. We need to confront this. As you're watching me, you are, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. It's been a lovely day in London right here. It's been nice and sunny. I've been out there. I've been, sun gazing and taking in a lot of the sun and doing, a few things out in the, in the weather. But when I came across this, I spoke about this a few days ago. I think on Monday I spoke about it. I was supposed to come on Wednesday, wasn't able to. But right now, what is going on? South Africans, what is this? This is self-hate. This is self-hate. Let me tell you what self-hate does to you. Let me go to a page here and I'll just pick any page. In fact, I'm going to pick any page. The first thing they do is the colonials have done, is to make sure that we never ever think of them when we're going to when we feel angry. The conditioning from the Bible quotes, when they say when somebody slaps you in the first cheek and you turn the other cheek, that is all part of the conditioning. When they say to you to believe, obey thy slave master, all of this is conditioning. And all of those things, you see, they keep telling you to forget. The colonials keep telling you forget the history. But that history is what their grandchildren are now using to benefit and to perpetuate this mental enslavement and to continue to destroy our communities. It is not until we start taking action, like the men behind me. This man behind me, Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Gota, General Cherney, they are great men who have seen that the only way for Africa to free itself is by taking control in charge of our own destiny. And what South Africans need to do, rather than actually, you see, the South Africans, you need to understand something as South Africans. Okay, you kick out, you damage, you harm so many non-South Africans. You kick them out, then everything goes down. Then what? Then what? You are still in the same position. 82% of your land, I'm going to show you. 72% of your land still remains in the hands of the colonials. 72%. I want you to get that into your head. Because if you're going around trying to harm people, you need to understand that your actions, what result do you hope to get from that action of harming your fellow South Africans? This is a clear sign. And I think one of the things we need to do, we have to be bold enough in Africa to start talking about that we need some kind of treatment psychological treatment that only Africans must offer Africans, because the behavior of a mass of people, such as you see in this video, such as you see, sorry about that. I'll come back to that. We are making the same mistakes. Sorry. So you see this. So when you see, this is not just one or two people now. This is with our societies has been psychologically negatively impacted. Our societies. So when you see people, look at this. Just look at that. Look, I'm going to pause it. And they, you know, they've been, it's like they've been primed. They've been primed. They will never, these people, these South Africans, if it was to be an European person, do you think they would do this? Do you think they would even have the guts to even come together as a, would you see 10 of them? Because it's psychologically, like he says in this book. Let me read something to you in the book here. This is to do with, by the way, I'm going to say praise this. This is to do with American slavery that happened in America from 1619. But I'm telling you that the same situation applies, because what they did, what the colonials did, Pope, I'll just quickly give you a quick rundown. Slavery that was used to enslave many Africans. The Pope Nicholas V, when the Portuguese and the Spanish started trying to go to Africa and they said they wanted the Pope to give them the right to go and take those countries over. So the Pope decreed that that he gave them the power to enslave, to conquer, enslave, and take the people of the West Africa and use them in slavery. That's the foundation that has brought to this, that has resulted in this psychological damage. And those who, I will say this now, those who have perpetrated that psychological damage, they will never, I say that again, they will never admit to it. Don't expect them to admit to it. It is up to us to take steps for them to confront them with their actions and the impact of what they have done to us on the African continent and the generations to come. Generations of Africans, long after the mass slavery, now they've changed the slavery. It is now financial slavery. They are now using financial structures to keep us enslaved on the African continent. The financial structures are causing they're causing poverty, enslavement. You are literally enslaved under the same system. So they've changed, they've just simply moved the goalposts. And that is what neocolonialism. Neocolonialism is about changing the goalposts from physically taking people over. First, they came to Africa. They took the land over. They literally took it over. And then they started controlling it. And then they started taking the resources. Then they took the people out. Then when they saw that people were, it was impossible for them to maintain that, what did they do? Oh, okay, we're going to change the goalpost. Okay, you are free now. Okay, you can move around. But then the levers of free movement, they controlled it. Immigration, how you moved out of Africa, who controls it? The same set of people. There's no freedom by us. No, there was no African government that had that what do you call it? That had that power to say, no, we are only going to allow this. We don't want this. They controlled our immigration. They controlled religion. They controlled our schooling. They controlled our education. They controlled the kind of history we learn. They controlled the everything about ourselves. It's all controlled, and it is still the same thing now. So I say it now. The 3 countries that are free, that are truly free in Africa right now, are the following: Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore; Assimi Goïta, Mali; General Chani, Niger. Those are the 3 countries: Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They are the 3 countries that the West cannot control. And what are they doing right now? They try to carry out a coup against Assimi Goïta that you see on the picture. They try to carry out a coup against him. And we can no longer be silent. When we need to start planning our African continent. Every single child must go through. Every single child. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adumako. Thank you. I appreciate you. Every single child must go through a psychological re-education. We have to re-educate our people. This is no longer, this is not acceptable anymore. That the same system that enslaved us still wants us and our generations to come to continue to bow down to the system that oppresses the people, that has the most resources in the entire world. We cannot allow this anymore. So we need to take steps. We're not going to wait for anything from them. That is, we need to follow the footsteps of what Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, who they tried to overthrow. In the process of trying to overthrow him, they took out Sadio Kamara, the Minister for Defense, and they took out Modibo Kone. They unalived those two. Yeah. So I'm just checking what's going on. So what am I saying? And all of this is connected to South Africa. So please, just, yeah. So all of you take a screenshot. All of you take a screenshot. Let me read something from this book for you. Yeah. They said they don't. Oh, they don't. They don't have a problem. Really? Oh, okay. Let me read something to them. Let me read something to those. If you, yeah, Ola, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm going to follow you back. So I'm following you back already. I'm requesting to follow you back. Look, those who, if there's a South African who wants you to come and debate this, please come in, and we're happy to do it. Let me show you something here. I want to read something to you in this book here. I need you to just understand something here. There's a bit I wanted you to understand. The MAFA, transatlantic slave trade, was referred to as Middle Passage, marks a period of human trauma rarely equaled. The Middle Passage describes one leg of the triangular route of a trade that brought captured African men and women and children to the Americas and enslaved them. Millions were forced to undergo onto cargo ships bound for unknown lands that included Brazil, West Indies, Europe, and United States, among others. These people, I'm reading page 73, these people were loaded onto ships and crammed together with sometimes less than 18 inches between them. Here they would dwell for many weeks to several months in the bowels of the ship. They were deprived of human comfort and shared in a collective misery. This disgusting place was where they slept, wept, ate, defecated, urinated, menstruated, vomited, gave birth, and died. It has been estimated that millions of Africans that died en route exceeded the number of those killed in the Jewish Holocaust of the 1930s and 40s. Yet few of us are even aware that part of the African American history exists. First African slaves were captured and brought to Portugal in 1444. You heard what I said? The Pope Nicholas, in his papacy bull, wrote a letter given the Spanish and the Portuguese the right to go to Africa to conquer, to enslave. So this is a long history we're talking about. South Africans, you need to understand. You cannot, if we have to work on this together, we need unity, So yeah, there's still now, they're unaliving our people. Suresh Keba, exactly. So I need South Africans to come on the platform. I need to ask a question. Exactly. So if you are a South African, please come and answer the question. Because I want you to ask, let me just show you this now. As a South African, I need you to explain to me, how is it that you think it's okay for a fellow African, not South African, to be struck with a stone and the lady ends up on the floor? For a Sudanese, I believe, or Somalian or Sudanese man has been all alive today in South Africa because of what he's doing. And so we're calling on President Cyril Ramaphosa to act now, to arrest anybody. There has to be, he has to show us that there is really order. Look, you see the hand that you see in the picture, those of you on TikTok, that hand there, that is, no, that's not it. Is that the one? Yeah, I think that it is. I think that's a policeman. because he came out and he tried to help the woman. And this happened in front of him. I will see if I can show you the video. I'm a bit reluctant because I'm worried, you know. So this is what we must wake up. We have to wake up to this, and we need to wake up millions of South Africans. They clearly have been brainwashed against themselves. There's a place called Orania or something. Is it Orania? A town where they can't even go in South Africa. They don't see anything wrong, and they've accepted that. But they cannot accept that fellow Africans who are struggling come to their country. And by the way, I just wanted to say there are figures that we're getting about Nigeria. Nigeria, the number of Nigerians who are in South Africa are barely 200,000. The number of Europeans in South Africa are 2 million. The number of Europeans, colonials, in South Africa are 2 million. The number of Nigerians that they like to talk about is barely, yeah. There's a lot of miseducation. Okay, yeah, come on through. I'll bring you in. Yeah, I'll follow you. Yeah, please come and enlighten us. I accept. And we need to talk about this. What miseducation are we talking about? I'd like to hear you. Welcome. Appeal. See, already I've been, because I said the word, I only read what is in the book, but you're not even allowed to read what is written in the book. So they're already, sanctioning me. But anyway, I'm not going to stop. Greetings and welcome. Sir Justice Sokela. Greetings and welcome. Welcome.
Greetings, my elder.
Yeah, greetings. Yes. How are you doing?
I am doing quite well.
Okay. So, let me just, before we go, can you see this picture of this lady here on the floor in front of me? Are you watching the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see that lady there? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Do you know? I'll just give you. I might show the video. I'm a bit reluctant to show the video because I think TikTok are very hot. They may sort of start restricting me. I'm already being restricted anyway. Now, what happened was he was talking, and somebody, so a South African man, came and threw a brick at her head, at the back of her head. She ended up on the floor. Now she got back up. Please, I'd like to know, what justification can there be for such an action? I'd like to know. I take it you're South African, right?
I'm South African.
Yes. Okay. So, Sir Justice, I'd like to know, in any way, is there any reason that action can be justified?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Thank you. I'm really glad that you said that, and I'm so glad that we have an agreement, at least, about the decency of how we can actually operate. Now, I am not for 1 second ignoring the clamor for something to be done, because when there's poverty and unemployment, and then other people are coming to your community, you are going to feel aggrieved. Now, the question I'm asking is, should you direct that anger and that frustration to the same people who are virtually in the same boat as you are, or the people who are creating the conditions in which people are even having to flee across Africa to survive? That's the question I would like to ask you. And of course, I'd like to hear your thoughts on all of what's going on so far. And also, shouldn't President Cyril Ramaphosa already be out now to make sure they restore calm, and the police must arrest people? Because I saw there was a policeman next to this woman when this happened, and he pretended to chase the woman, to chase the attacker, and left the woman dazed on the floor. So yeah, let's hear from you.
This is what I'm trying to. I'm not sure if it's your volume.
Oh, my echo.
But it's very, very high.
Right. Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay, but now I can't hear myself. Okay.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you loudly. We hear you loud and clear here in the studio. We hear you loud and clear, so you can speak.
Okay. So just to give context, guys, to what's going on the ground. This is, if you have been putting your ear on the ground and not trying to ignore the problem, it is a problem that has been ignored for more than 2 decades. And it has been brewing on the ground. When we're saying it's brewing on the ground, it means that the last people to actually get the last end of the stick. Whether we're talking budgets, whether we're talking service delivery, whether we're talking governance, the last person actually being affected by all of this has been left, if I might use a word. And unfortunately, I also work with diplomats
Mm-hmm.
uh, from time to time. But
Okay.
unfortunately, the honest truth is that it has gone to a point where people are now taking action
Mm-hmm.
towards they have been grieving about
Okay.
for years.
Okay.
The spike when it comes to national security and
Mm-hmm.
mass migration,
Mm-hmm.
it is done on purpose
Mm-hmm.
within our small country that looks like the last end of an island.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a report that was created or written by a journalist in collaboration with an academic from UNISA
Okay.
to how the treaties are being structured, especially in SADC.
Mm-hmm.
Mass migration, when it comes to South Africa, was done on purpose to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
The drafting of what we call now the Constitution,
Mm-hmm.
CODESA negotiations,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to land claim, the black person who has not benefited anything from his country,
Mm-hmm.
from mining to whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
is the person that has to fend for himself.
Mm-hmm.
The introduction of the new government back in 1994
Mm-hmm.
was a glimpse of hope for him or her, that they were going to get liberation.
Mm-hmm.
And after the liberation comes the struggle towards economic liberation.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that struggle there's always been a backlog,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always an outcry in the rest of Africa that, including Pan Africanists,
Mm-hmm.
why aren't you focusing your energy and
Mm-hmm.
channeling your energy towards these whiteys who
Mm-hmm.
own majority of the land and own majority of the
Mm-hmm.
economy?
Mm-hmm.
And it is true. It is
Mm-hmm.
nothing that we can shy away from. It
Mm-hmm.
is true. Unfortunately, they
Mm-hmm.
use the loopholes that they created, like
Mm-hmm.
mass migration,
Mm-hmm.
to distort, number one, um, the ratios when it comes to numbers, especially around city centers,
Mm-hmm.
urban areas where there is some form of economic development.
Mm-hmm.
And it is made easy that the assets of those who benefited from apartheid
Yeah.
fall to those who are going to manage this mass migration. So,
Mm-hmm.
from living conditions,
Mm-hmm.
houses being taken over,
Yeah.
municipalities not being able to service certain areas because
Mm-hmm.
they've been taken over.
Mm-hmm.
When the police come to kick those people out, or the city council comes
Mm-hmm.
to kick those people out, they
Yeah.
can't because there's a
Yeah.
clause
Mm-hmm.
within our own constitution that you have to find those people a place
Mm-hmm.
and a land.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you see those people squatting maybe 15, 20, 30 people in one house or in one room
Mm-hmm.
in a flat,
Yeah.
you cannot kick them out according to the laws of the land.
Mm-hmm.
So, which means they become useless.
Mm-hmm.
The municipality itself cannot render services because there's no revenues coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes now a breeding ground
Mm-hmm.
for everything unethical to
Mm-hmm.
happen because people need to survive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We start getting brothels, we start getting drug labs, we start getting all of these things that you will get in a normal ghetto.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, to the South African, that's the place where they go for economic development
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that is now led to be desecrated.
Mm-hmm.
While the whiteys go and build their malls, they will build their own sanctuaries wherever that they are because constitutionally they are citizens and those who benefited from apartheid. And when you're looking at the numbers, you're right. We have a lot of European descent people in our lands because
2 million.
majority
There's
of
2 million
our
of them.
countries, majority of our SADC countries and brothers actually got rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got rid of them, what is the first place that they go to? Majority of them are running businesses across Africa. When they're running business across Africa, they prefer that South Africa becomes the land where they're going to be inhabited in order for them to keep a close eye, to utilize resources like human resource and all of that. But I'm trying to give you a glimpse of a different perspective from
Mm-hmm.
what's happening within SADC
Yeah.
current and the current political climate. Our politicians are in agreement with those people, in collaboration. They have businesses across these lands, mining and abstracting resources
Yeah.
that our people will never benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
So what you are seeing
Mm-hmm.
is a reaction
Yes.
from a people that are tired. So what years ago we will call a revolution,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately now becomes a revolution against their own brother,
Yeah.
because
Which is
the brothers, what they do in the diaspora, some of the things that they do, guys, we can't even mention them in public platforms
mm-hmm.
because it is heinous crimes.
Mm-hmm.
I once made an example to a Ghanaian friend, because I have Ghanaian friends and business partners.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
said to him, in order to make it easy for your brothers to see what is going on, just go on YouTube. There's a
Mm-hmm.
TV program about this guy chasing people who are selling drugs.
Mm-hmm.
It is a normal TV program. He
Mm-hmm.
goes around, asks the community who's selling, and he gets
Mm-hmm.
information. He goes after those people that are getting drugs. You will be shocked at the people that there is it's always appearing. However, this march on the ground, it is still peaceful. The videos that your guys are reacting to, it's either videos of people. Number one, I'm not sure what the lady one that you're showing.
No, that's not
That one I have no context on.
that's not the lady one. This is
This,
this is the people who are en masse outside of a city mall, and and they're doing Zulu war dance to go and attack non-South Africans. I'll play it. I'll play it.
that's
Watch.
that's the thing also. That we believe that they are attacking people.
Well, look, I'm going to show you a video. In fact, I'll get the video out now because I might as well show the video.
Okay.
Because I think I'm gonna mute the sound because I don't want the sound out, but I wanted to just see the video so you can see exactly what I mean. Let me get the video out. There we are. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna mute
Can you
it.
make the screen bigger so
I will
that we
do.
can see?
I will do. I will do. I will do. So here we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Let me just mute the word, mute it there. Give me 1 second. How can I make it bigger? I want to make it bigger. Okay, so here we are. So there, you can see that. Can you see what happened there? Are you seeing that?
Yes. Yes.
You see that? So for whatever reason, now the police was right next to her when that happened. The police could have stopped that, but they didn't. And look, she's struggling to get up. You can see she's struggling to get up. She's out of balance. Look at that. See, it's hideous. And I'm not just look. Everything that's happening to South Africans is not acceptable. I'm not saying that, I've said it. The thing is, as I speak to you, you and I know, and 72% of the land that you have in your country are in the hands of people who are barely 10% of your population. That
100%.
and that so if you think the situation is not the people who are now trying to who they now bring in, and you said it. One of the things they also do is
That's where you get it wrong.
hang on. Let me just state this. Some of the people who are so-called non-South Africans, they are also being brought in by the same people who own your land, because they will get, some of them will come for work. You said it.
That's what they're saying.
You said it yourself that they will bring people from across the borders because they fled from those countries. So what gives the colonials the right to be able to move countries and just do whatever they want? What gives them that right? That's the question that I'm asking. And then those have to be addressed, and we need a proper education. Clearly, the people in our communities, in your communities, in my communities, don't speak English or the foreign languages. So they just know that they are not things have been unfair to them, and then they turn to violence. So I'm just saying to you that right now, I think we have to be very, very clear that what is going on is unacceptable. However way you look at it, it is not acceptable that somebody is doing this to fellow South Africans.
That I just got the reference to that video.
Yeah. Okay.
That video is from 3 years ago.
Well, okay. If you're saying it's
And
3 years
that
ago,
is not context.
okay, right, okay. If you're gonna say that, I'm not gonna argue. But is that good for that to happen at all? Shouldn't that person be
We
arrested?
don't even know if the attacker was South African.
I think it was. I think it was from what I've been hearing. But
100%. So
okay, now
you and I are going to assume.
yes, yes.
So on the basis of that, there's missing context.
Well,
We can't say that this is what is happening in South Africa.
okay, now I've seen videos. There's a lady who's saying that Africans should go back to their country and fix their mess. And I've
Yes.
yeah. Now I don't listen. I'm not arguing about that. But when you see violence, I think a Sudanese man has been unalived today. A Sudanese or yeah. So that cannot.
So what's happening in that?
Yes.
In that is the national security that we are talking about. It is that within the diaspora, they are fighting for these regional markets that they have control over. And it has led into violence.
Okay.
So the Bangladeshis, the Somalians, the Ethiopians, some Tanzanians, even Tanzanians have stopped going towards the unregulated tuck shops ownerships because it has become a mafia business.
Okay.
Mushrooming all over, literally all over, not only in CBDs, but the entire country.
Yeah.
When we trace the money, there's a lot of money laundering
of course,
using these unregulated tuck shops.
Look, I am.
Last year, we buried 14 children who were unalive due to poisoning because they were fighting against the locals when the locals wanted to kick them out. And this has been boiling for years and years and years.
It doesn't justify the killing. It doesn't.
It's been
okay. Now,
because this is the misinformation that has been peddled. Hang
on. Let me show you something. I don't want to. Here we go. This is a recent one. Somali community was hit by a series of attacks in South Africa over the past week. The Somalian man, 25-year-old Abdi Nasser Mahmoud Good, was stoned to death on May 10th. Is it May? Which month? Okay, yeah, that it's been brewing, like you said, it's been brewing.
What about the homing in Nigeria?
Sorry? What? What?
Of the Boko Haram bombs.
Yeah, of course. Listen.
I don't see that in the news.
Listen, listen. I am not. I'm happy to talk about Boko Haram, and if on my show you've heard me talk about it, and I'm addressing that as I speak. As in fact, as a daily basis on which I cover it on my platform, so I don't hide that.
I see that. We never see that.
I do on my platform. If you go on my timeline, you will see me talking about Boko Haram. The fact that they are on. In fact, I'm about to post a video of the inhuman treatment they've given. So no. I can't because hang on. Tofu. 1 second, please. Let's do this in a nice way. Sir Justice, I'm really grateful in manner which you're approaching. Tofu, I'd like you to do the same thing. What we are saying is this. Why I'm involved in is I've seen a number of videos where shops for African and non-South African shops have been burnt, and people have been chased out of their shops. People have been sent. Children are not allowed to go to school. Women, South African women went to schools. It's not a lie. I've seen the video.
We have never bombed.
No, I'm not saying you bombed. I'm saying the women. No. I'm not saying you bombed. No. I never said that. I'm saying the women went to the schools. and took
Yes.
out and chased and said to non-South African children, you can't go to school. They were at the school gate and they were sending them back home.
Do you understand the context?
I understand the context. I understand the context, but if hang on, you can't hang on, tofu. You will get to speak. You will get to speak. And first of all, I want to thank you for acknowledging and coming onto my platform. But what I'm saying is this: we are the same skin color. If I stand in Europe, if you and I stand together, they are not going to tell whether you're South African or I'm Nigerian. They are going to see Africans. So we need to understand that context also, is what I'm saying. I am not saying that the suffering that the people have gone through in South Africa is not real. No. Far from it. In fact, I have been advocating that before all of this happened, I've been saying as South Africans on my platform, 72% of your land that you could use to build farmers and it's farmland, 72% of the farmland that rightly should be feeding people in South Africa right now are in the hands of those who are oppressing you. That's the reality of it. So I've been talking about that. So now the thing is this: how do we solve?
Here's a different.
Sorry?
This is a different word.
A different what?
Mass migration is collaborating with these guys who own the economy.
So
to delay economic development and land rights.
Yes, of course.
To the local South African.
I get that. I get that.
So these are people who have the highest global unemployment in the world.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah. I
and you are saying that you in your own home do not have a right not only to feed your children, but to be able to work and to fight your own struggle economically. So who is being a hypocrite here?
Well, I'm not. I don't think calling names is going to be helpful in this matter. What I am saying, I am stating clearly, I recognize the difficulties that has been the artificially imposed difficulties that the system has imposed on South Africans. I recognize it, and in fact, it is. If you go to many African countries, they are facing exactly the same things. The levers of control are often in the hands of the very same colonials, and they're using their lackeys in the local community to control and impose their will on the people to create poverty in a land of plenty. So there is no doubt about that. I do not shy away from that. 1 second. Sorry?
Are not mass migrating or migrating.
Who not?
We rather fix our.
I think if you go, I think if you go to
the Chinese,
if
when the revolution started, all those who collaborated with those who came with that opium were those first to get the chop.
Okay. Sir,
have been spoken.
Justice Sokela. 1 second, please. I think the first thing the first thing we need to do right now is this, please. Can we address the violence issue? Because I think if we are bringing in, look, there's justification for feeling upset. I recognize that the South African people have a right to be upset about what is going on. And the fact that their government hasn't actually addressed their concerns. And then they're using, and in some cases, they're probably paying some of the workers less pay because they're trying to use the psychology divide and rule. I understand that. But there is no way we can condone violence, black on black violence. So that is the central issue for me. That's why I came out today. The videos, if you say it's old, fine, but it's still happening. And I still saw, I'm going to get some more videos out. Yes, go ahead.
There's a bit of feedback from your end.
I'll mute it here. Okay.
Okay. We are not condoning violence, guys. This has been a peaceful march that has been happening for the past 2 years. A peaceful march. The first incident where there was a form of violence that happened was in Ukombo, which is a province outside, just outside of the outskirts of KwaZulu-Natal, within the coastal areas. There, it was a peaceful march where they went into that city with a memorandum that was set. People marching within the streets.
Mhm.
What happened was is that there was a gathering of local foreign business people within that region. We'll call them that, respectively, that started to attack and stab three people that went to hospital. This was in not April, 2 months ago.
Mhm.
When they stabbed this guy, I will send you the images and the videos.
I
When they
I
stabbed
don't.
these guys,
Yeah.
it sparked violence where they started to attack properties. That was the main trigger for the violence. Then there was a second video that even the minister of I think it's foreign affairs in Ghana, I'm not sure, reacted to. That was a South African trying to steal pickpocket people's phones during the march and go loot in foreigner shops where they were marching. That was in Durban. A second one happened in Joburg, and all of these, even Al Jazeera right now. So it's not only you, my senior citizen. That's why I'm trying to add context so that people can start understand that you're victims of propaganda currently. And there's nothing that we can also try to convince you of, because unfortunately, those who own the medias, we are fighting with them as well, including the likes of your Elons, including the likes of your Donald Trumps and APEC. You'll have seen us fighting, being hanged, left to dry as a country where even our own whiteys have been inciting that we were violent against white farmers. So it is not only, we are not only fighting a local fight, but we are fighting an international fight
Mm.
against forces. And we're the only
Mhm.
country that defended even the injustices
Okay.
internationally.
Okay.
So
Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. 1 second, please. Just hold that fire. Hold that thought. Please, everybody watching. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Right now, TikTok again. They're reducing my reach on the platform, and as ever, because they're saying I'm using the wrong language. And we're talking about very very important topic where people's lives are being lost, and we're trying very hard to be what's the word, to be very very balanced in what we're saying. But nonetheless, TikTok, in their infinite wisdom, they are sort of making it difficult for this broadcast to reach more people. So how can you help us reach more people? Please share. Tap on the screen, gift the platform. And also, to help what we're doing, go also to my platform on YouTube, Citizen AY on YouTube, and subscribe there, because that way we can continue this conversation. But I'm just making to make sure that this program has a good proper airing and the opportunity to actually discuss properly and talk about things at length. That please, you can share the broadcast, you can gift the platform, and also please help us reach more people. And don't forget, of course, go to subscribe us on YouTube. Carry on, Sir Justice. Go ahead.
so my senior citizen, I beg of you to please reduce the words that are insightful of violence if you do not have context and proper information, because you are helping the YTs that we are fighting.
Okay.
You are literally assisting them
Mm-hmm.
to spread more propaganda about. Unfortunately, the war in South Africa is no longer about many things, but it is very economically facing.
Yeah.
And the more there's discouragement
Mm-hmm.
to the native black person, and they will do and utilize every single tool. That is why we are screaming on top of our lungs, guys, please try to go back and fix your countries. It's the only way we can have
I don't
economic development.
I don't
Not
have a
that we are
problem with that.
ignorant, that we we can save our country or think we can do it on our own. No, we're not ignorant of that. But however, as long as you are still utilizing the same systems to get a go ahead as in silos or to get ahead as an individual, you will utilize the same system that is corrupting and causing more oppression on the people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same in Zimbabwe, it's the same in Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same in Mali. I'm glad that you're referencing Ibrahim Traore and they struggle. They've figured out how to get the French countries and whatsoever out of the countries and out of the economy. Unfortunately, we are locked into this thing because diplomatically, if we were to fight the same way that others were fighting,
Mm-hmm.
we are not only going to suffer, but Mozambique is going to suffer. Lesotho is going to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Botswana cannot even sell its diamonds anymore because of economic restrictions. We are the last lifeline within SADC for any form of economic ability outside of the means of corruption, outside of the means of being used.
Okay.
So we are trying to fight an economical fight.
Okay.
And please, guys, I beg in the name of God or in the name of your ancestors, I am pleading and I am laying my life down on your feet. Please stop spreading propaganda because you are helping the same enemy
Okay.
to gain more attraction.
Well,
Thank you,
I
my sinister.
Okay, thank you for that, Justice Justice Sokela. What I would say is this: certainly on this platform, we go on the information that we have, and we try to be balanced. You can see, I'm saying to you, I wanted you to speak and tell us your perspective because your perspective is very, very important as a South African in these discussions. For us to see it from your point of view and understand as far as we can about what you're saying about the use of the mainstream media, and we're all aware. We are aware that the mainstream media of the West is a severe threat in every single African country, bar none. Every single African country. That is why the AES, the first thing they did was to chase away all of the mainstream media. And they have the AES are only the ones who are allowed to operate within the AES. So those are the kind of things that we really talk about here. But for me, what I am saying here is that the whatever to be able to snuff out the mainstream media, there has to be a direct action on ground by South Africans to make sure that yes, you can protest, yes, you can actually reject the influx of foreigners in your land, but you do not go as far as to be destroying or burning shops or beating people up or all of that. That has to be rejected. And I'm glad that you have actually said you don't condone violence, you don't condone burning of things, but you are equally standing up for the people. And we recognize that that's not an easy struggle to be in. You have a double whammy in South Africa. You have the issue of the lack of opportunities for many in the communities, plus the opportunities there are, you can see it in front of you being taken by those who are not from your land. So that is it's a double whammy, and you're trying to get a balancing act. I understand that. But nonetheless, if we do not come and speak up about this, to put this in the mainstream and shine a light on this, many lives that could have been prevented from being taken may well be lost because people have just said, oh well, we can't do that. So I'm hoping that this opportunity, that this chance of us discussing about this at length like this, in an open and candid manner, is something that's going to give us a bit of a pause, a food for thought. Of course, many Nigerians, should by rights should be in Nigeria because Nigeria is a very, very rich country. I'm a Nigerian, and I know, for example, in Nigeria we have over 40 mineral resources, including gold. We have uranium, we have all of those things, and the kind of unrest going on in Nigeria are being orchestrated by the same people who own the media that you are talking about. So I hope from what I'm speaking to you, as I'm speaking to you, you can see that I'm trying to be very balanced in what I'm saying. But I am saying in any case that violence of any shape or form, we cannot tolerate it, particularly to ourselves, because we need to understand that we have been put through there's been a psychological damage done to us, that we can not be able to see each other in a way that is actually sort of as what's the word, as brothers and sisters in this struggle. So it is very important that we of course hear from you. I think you probably I think your phone has gone off, but I'm really grateful that you came. Now, I still say it, we need to hear from President Cyril Ramaphosa. When there is amount of unrest going on like this, where people are showing, I'm going to try and show another video, given into the mainstream media. Okay, yeah. So we have to really be very careful, and we cannot in any way, shape, or form condone nor accept any physical threat. And we need the president of South Africa. He's a member of the African Union, SADC, and all of those bodies. He must set an example. He must come out and instruct the police to do their work. They mustn't allow violence to be used against people who are immigrants. It is not acceptable. And the very regrettable thing about it is that to have black people turn against black people is the very thing that the system that is controlling Africa wants. Because they want us to, it's about divide and rule. As long as they can divide and rule, they have the control. So we have to unite. The object of the discussion that I'm having today is to implore us to unite. Pause, identify that there is a game that's being played by those who have the levers of power, using the media, using the economic finances, economic levers, using psychology, using everything to portray a narrative that Africans are not able to manage their affairs, that they are therefore coming in to help Africa. That's the narrative. We have to be very clear. When we allow this kind of black South Africans harming or chasing black South Africans, what happens is that the colonials will say, oh, you see, they cannot manage on their own, so we have to manage them. So they portray themselves as though they are benevolent, that what they're trying to come to do in Africa, their role in Africa, is simply to help us to solve our problems, when they are in actual fact too big. Miss T, would you like to come on air? I don't take offense. You can say whatever. I'm too big. Am I too big? You cannot. If you want to speak, please come on and speak. I'm not attacking you. We need to have a discussion. If you just want to be abusive, it's not really helpful. We need to solve the problem. But I'd love to hear from you. I'm not. If you want to answer me, I've sent you a multi-guest. If you want to come in, you can come and talk about it. So yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. And I also want to say this. So, in as much as we try to make it very politically correct, in terms of communication, in terms of what is leadership doing, I would like to address that, guys. Please do not also fall into the trap of trying to, what's the word? Um, I'm trying to use a nice word before I use a word that is um, trying to hold South Africans accountable at this point. Because right now, as we are speaking, sir, hunger knows no political decorum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The hunger on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the masses, it knows no political decorum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they feel provoked
Mm-hmm.
because every time they try to say something, it is always misunderstood on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They are not only labeled by mistake, but it is also a no, but you'll try to act higher than life, you'll try to act higher than other people, and it
Yeah.
becomes a provocation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have been saying this over and over and over again.
Mhm.
Never provoke someone who's hungry.
Mhm.
Literal hunger.
Mhm. Um,
It is not only an unemployment issue, it is an issue of actual economics. As
Mhm.
you have said, that
Mhm.
majority of the wealth
Mhm.
using data
Mhm.
has been going, including the cash flows, including the cash reserves,
Mhm.
have been going towards the same direction.
Mhm. Mhm.
And however, it is at a point where people feel as if those who are supposed to be collaborating with us
Mhm.
are the ones collaborating with our enemies to make sure that our hunger is not only a reality, but it is also on public display. Being called lazy,
Uh,
being insulted, being called whatsoever. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can. I'm trying to be as calm as I can. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of me going around.
exactly,
It,
and that's why I'm so glad, Sir Justice Sokela. I'm so glad that it is very, very good that you came and you spoke, and we are still talking about this because we need to have dialogue among ourselves. African unity, is very, very important in this struggle, because if we don't address this, it can snowball. And all the colonials want is a vacuum. They're looking for a vacuum in a space that they are creating by promoting this division. And that vacuum is what they will use to achieve whatever goal they've set themselves. Um, if you notice that the mainstream media, this is hardly being carried by them majorly. They're mentioning it, but it's not like it's not being on our, it's being put into our faces. So we need to start talking about it in our communities and actually educating ourselves about what is really going on in South Africa. And also, South Africans like yourself should really impress upon fellow South Africans that to honor life fellow Africans is not the solution. It isn't. But to understand, we both understand that we are actually facing the same issues. And if we were to able to collaborate, we may actually be able um, to to push aside the very structure that has been imposed all the way back from 1897, from the Land Reform Act of Cecil Rhodes on South Africa. Because many South Africans are very, very passionate about, many Africans are very passionate about the plight of South Africans. When many of us were getting our independence back in the 60s, South Africa didn't get theirs until well into 1980s. And there was a reason for that. The reason was the apartheid regime was unwilling to actually allow for to allow let Africans, South Africans, have a voice. So what I am saying here is this: we the whole of Africa, bar Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, we're not free. Let us be very, very clear. Yeah, 1994. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's 1994. Exactly, 1994. Exactly. So, now, what I am saying is that we have to understand in all of this that we must unite to dislodge the colonial structure from the African continent. The French, as we speak, they are trying to destabilize Mali right now. But Mali fought back. I've got videos on my platform where the Malians, men who are retired military men, have got back their uniforms, and they say they're ready to go to the front line to defend their land from the French. They managed to kick the French out, and the French are trying to cause instability and to divide and rule so that they can use it as an opportunity to come back into Mali and take Mali, and then go on to Burkina Faso and do likewise, and go on to Niger and do likewise. So by us having this discussion, I am hoping that we can come to a place where we can all Africans must recognize that every part of Africa is under colonial attack, be it psychological, be it financial, be it religious, be it education, be it in all manners. The aim of the colonial structure is to ensure that there is no unity on the African continent. That is the sole aim of the colonial structures. The bodies that they create, the African Union, the West Africa, the SADC, and all of those bodies, they are created to ensure that there's division, that there is no real, there will never be any real unity among Africans, so that they can then use it as an opportunity to continue to to extract our resources on the cheap and to dominate and to prevent us from actually developing. They don't want Africa to produce they don't want an Africa that's going to compete in terms of producing goods. Guess what? In Burkina Faso, you can buy a phone made in Burkina Faso. You can buy a car made in Burkina Faso. You can eat fruits, mangoes, onions, carrots, beans, you name it, all made in Burkina Faso. You can make that, So it is very important that we understand that, It is so, so important that we have this discussion as Africans. Of course, we are not happy. Nobody can be happy. Thank you very much, Bona. Nobody can be happy to see fellow Africans being unalived, or any South African being denied their right to their land since 1897. And I mean, even now, in the UK here, when they show the star of whatever that's on the King's thing, we know it comes from South Africa, and those are the things that need to be returned. Because this is an injustice it is an open wound. That is like an open wound that has to be healed. But we have to do it ourselves. We cannot depend on the colonizers to do it, and that is why it is very important that our unity in trying to solve our problems. Okay, Omi, let me bring you in. I'll bring you in. So, sir, I'm really grateful for Sir Justice Sokela for coming up. And if you still stay there, and if you want to chat, I'll bring somebody else in, and let's have this discussion. I want to say that we have to hear from President Cyril Ramaphosa to make a statement and remind the police to restore law and order and not allow violence against anybody, be it from South Africans or vice versa from immigrants. That's what I would like to say. I welcome. What would you like to say? Welcome.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening.
How are you doing, sir?
Greetings, sir.
That your BS is a well-deserved trademark.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Can I show something, please, quickly?
Okay, go ahead. Okay, what was it you're going to show me? But don't let it go against the community standards. Okay.
You see this?
Yes.
Please, if you have time, and watch this documentary.
Yes.
And some of my South African brothers should also watch this documentary.
Okay. Yes.
And then we will know where we are directing our fight.
Okay. Yes.
Because this tells us a lot of things about what is causing the xenophobic attack and so on.
Okay.
You see this?
Yes, I see that now. I see it. Yes.
High profile.
Okay. Drug trafficking is Africa's presidential villas. Okay.
If you are online here, please watch this documentary.
Let me see. Drug trafficking. What do you call drug trafficking in presidential villas? Yeah.
In African presidential villas.
Okay. I'll look at it. I'll look for it. Is it on YouTube?
Yes. So it is not only one villa.
Yeah, I know.
Villas.
Yeah. I will have to do a program on that separately, because I don't want to distract from what we're talking about in terms of.
Yeah, I know, and I know you will do it. That is why I brought it to you, because you now one serious investigative journalist.
Thank you. I'm a blogger, really. I'm not a journalist qualified. I'm not qualified, but I believe in speaking truth to power and doing a lot of research. So,
brother, you are doing the work of a journalist.
Oh,
whether you like it or not. You are bringing the fact out, and you are trying to build bridges.
Yeah.
And you are trying to see the reason why we should live as human beings instead of animal. And you try to straighten the lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And say, see, this like what you are talking about, what is happening in Burkina Faso,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. This is the type of thing that we need. Let people see this thing. If I unalive everybody, I will not have anybody to call my brother or my neighbor.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said. Well said.
I will not have my neighbor. It will not work. Because it is working for you now doesn't mean it will not work for me tomorrow. Yeah, and tomorrow, if you need someone to come and fight for you, if I am no longer there, you will be swallowed up whole.
Whole. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That is how it is. Let us just know that we can follow the law. Like there was an apostle who is saying that we should let the law take its course. If you see somebody that is doing wrong, report the person police. Let the police do the needful. And not you ganging up against people. It's not nice.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not nice. It's telling a whole lot about we Africans, that if we can't unite, like what you said a while ago, if we can unite, then it's a prerequisite, very, very simple for anybody to come up and destroy everything. They just need to put one small thing in our midst and they watch us. There was an experiment. They said that the red ant and the black ant can coexist inside a jar without problem.
Yeah.
The moment they pick up the jar and they shake the jar, then the ants start unaliving each other. They unalive each other until there is no black ant remaining anymore. Yeah, so I like your program so much. Sometimes I just watch from the background, I just listen.
Oh, thank you.
There's a lot of wisdom to be learned.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
But I will let my beard grow like your own.
Oh, thank you. Well,
it is whiter than your own, though.
Okay, that's good. Well, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, have a nice afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for a good job, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. All right, thank you. Everybody watching, please. I'll come back to you. I hope I'm following you. Let me see if I'm following you already. Yes, I am following you. Okay. So what I'd like to do, really, I will. I'm just gonna. Yeah. What I'm gonna do now is I just want us to really understand that with South Africa, they still have. Yeah, it's scary. I'm going to come and talk about that program. Actually, somebody just said it. They're watching the documentary. It's scary. So we are going to come and talk about the African, the villa, like I talked about, and the presidential villas in African nations, and the connection with drug trafficking and all of that. It is quite horrifying, to be honest, and it is something to look at. Those are part of the problems. I've said it in many of the countries that are in Africa, and I don't say this lightly. Many of them, they are puppets. They are puppets of the Western hegemony. That's what they are. And unless we start letting our people know that in our local languages, nothing is going to change, So it is time for us now. And I hope that many South African elites will be going to the communities and explaining the similarity of the poverty in South Africa to the poverty in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Sierra Leone, in Gambia, in Senegal, and so on and so forth. That they have to understand that the people that they see, they are suffering the same things. And oftentimes, Justice said it. He said that oftentimes the colonials who are now so-called naturalized citizens, they will have businesses all over Africa. And to make it cheaper for themselves, they will bring other Black Africans into South Africa, pay them at a cheaper rate to force competition. And then, of course, we now get what we're getting in the fight that and this nasty thing that is going on. And it is something that we need to really not accept. As you're watching, please do take a second. We welcome gifts. We do a lot of research, and we try and bring information to the community, to the African community, because we do need your help. So any gift you can gift on the platform. If you can't, just go to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. We do need more people to be on there. With about almost 7,000 followers, we need more people to get on there for us so that it actually helps us. What we want to do on this platform is we want to be able to, in this year, I plan to go to Burkina Faso and Mali and to Niger, and to be reporting live from ground. I want to be able to, hopefully with a group of people, we are trying to organize a trip. So 10, 20, 30 people, if you're interested, get in touch with me, Citizen AY, on just get in touch via inbox or admin@citizeny.org. I'll make sure I put it on the broadcast here next time on the screen so you can see it. But it's admin@citizeny.org. You can reach me on there. There's a number you can also reach. 44 let me see, 739-580-606. 44739-580-606. So you can reach me on those numbers so that we can actually organize that trip. Get in touch with me. I'm organizing. I'll give you some updates of what we're doing, and also we'd like you to sign up to our newsletter to be able to have much more incisive discussions on specific topics. And of course, if you can subscribe to my platform on YouTube and on Facebook, on Instagram, on X Space, that would be of great help also. So we welcome gifts. Please do help the platform. It is very important, that we continue this discussion in a very, very balanced manner. It is annoying, upsetting, and really saddening to see fellow Africans turning on each other. And the reason why, and oftentimes we don't understand why we've done that. We don't understand why we've turned on each other. Let me just see. Sally, Don. Okay, thank you very much. Sally, oh, thank you so much. I just saw that now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sally Health Clinic, the health clinic. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now it is very, very important that as we're saying, that as Africans, we need to understand that African unity is as far as the colonists are concerned, is a threat to their own existence for whatever reason. We in Africa, we believe in, I am because you are, Ubuntu. We believe in live and let live. We believe in, there's room for everybody to grow. But for some reason, they want court for that. Even African corpses want unity too. But anyway, what I'm really talking about here, we have to understand that the minute Africa unites, and we have to unite, that's the only way to solve this problem. When we unite, we will then make sure on the African continent, because in Europe they have one defense, one secure military, and one defense. They defend collectively. They have one passport, and they have freedom of movement. So those three things are important. One, security. That is to say, all the securities are all connected and they work together. They have one passport, and then they have freedom of movement across the whole of Europe. But in Africa, for some reason, they'll say, oh, you are the French speaking. You cannot speak to the English one. Or if you're the English one, you can't speak to the Portuguese one. And they divide Africa. And who gave them the right to divide Africa? Nobody did. That is why they are trying to break the alliance of Sahel states. As I speak to you right now, you disagree. Okay, Malose Malonga, do you want to come in and discuss that? I'm happy to bring you on board. If you want to speak, let me see if anybody who wants to speak. I want to give you the opportunity to speak about this. And also, please, as you're watching, go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube, and I'd really appreciate that. As you're watching, and somebody's already subscribed now, please, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. The more you give us a thumbs up, the more we reach out. Okay, you will comment. Okay. Yeah. Siboney, UK was part of the EU until 2016. They were part of the EU, and now they are trying to come back into EU. As I speak to you, the UK are trying to come back and join the EU because they realize that, yes, you can come in. Let me bring you in. Let me bring you in then. I'll follow you. And Sibolena, okay, yes. So I'm bringing you in if you want to speak as well. And thank you to Sir Justice Solokeda, I think it was, yeah. So Sibolen Tabe, Tabede, greetings, welcome. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah, you could just call me Sibon.
Sibon. Yes, Sibon, greetings. What would you like to say? Let's hear from you.
Uncle, there's so many.
I'm going to mute. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's start here. Social media. We have to first understand that social media is a business. And the business of social media, you make revenue based on engagements. So the more hysteria you can generate, it's almost like reality TV. If they, for instance, there were to be a reality TV about you, it'll be the most boring thing in the world. But if you're fighting with your wife and fighting with your son or whatever, it generates content. And then the more people engage, the more you get paid, and so forth and so forth. So that's how it works. True. Similarly to here, you would understand on the guests that you brought on, the word unalive has been used so many times.
Yes.
Because bad news sell. There's been multiple matches. The only match, I think, Justice, I think, mentioned the one in Eastern Cape.
Yes, that's
where
correct.
It turned violent.
Yes.
The one in Joburg, not even the window was broken.
Okay.
But it's important for us to find something that a box was kicked. It was violent. We have to look for that.
Yeah.
So that we can then go to Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and everywhere else, then generate the content.
Okay.
Then Elon Musk and the rest of the guys will pay us.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
The second part, Uncle, that you must understand. There's a Jamaican saying that says, every day a bucket can go to a well.
Yeah.
But one day that bucket, the bottom will drop out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The focus that we're having now is on the day that the bottom drops out. We don't see that the kettle has been brewing for the past 10 years, the past 20 years or so. Now the focus is today. Oh, but don't be violent. When things have been brewing for the longest of times.
Okay.
Even Martin Luther himself said a riot is a language of the unheard.
Yeah, that's correct.
When people are not heard, this is how they're going to act. But you cannot then turn around and say, hey, by the way, in South Africa, the same South Africa that you like to talk about, the same Nelson Mandela that you'd like to talk about, the movement started non-violently. But Nelson Mandela himself said, hey, look, we can no longer continue to talk. The MK was not formed because people lacked food and shelter and things like that. It was a military wing. What does the military do?
Yeah, they fight.
So that's the second thing, is that the focus is so much now on what's going on now, and nobody's talking about the build-up to those situations.
I think
I'll give you a classic example.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, wait.
Because you're Nigerian. Some years back, I think 5, maybe 6 years back, a church in Nigeria collapsed. Over 110 people died. Some 74 people or so were South African.
Yeah.
Today, you are saying that Ramaphosa must come online and address everybody. What did the Nigerian president say?
I think didn't he speak about it? Didn't it? Was it Goodluck Jonathan? Wasn't it? At the time.
No,
it was
it wasn't.
Was it? Hang on, was it Buhari? I can't remember. I think it was. Yeah, it was Buhari.
Yeah,
it was Buhari. He didn't say much, but I think people came out from the government to speak. I know there was because I was following it. There was a pastor,
yeah.
a famous pastor. There was a lot of talk on Nigeria about it, and
yeah, and then there was a big issue about repatriating of the bodies, and the
yeah.
bodies ended up being decomposed and so forth and so
Oh
forth.
my gosh, yeah.
But today you are saying that we're worshiping white people in South Africa.
No.
Can you imagine for just 2 seconds?
Yeah, good.
If the 74 people that died were Americans or were British, how Nigeria was going to snap into action?
Well, this is the colonial thing I'm talking about. This is what I mean, that we have this colonial mindset, that the mental enslavement, that we would rush to the very people that have enslaved us rather than actually solve our own problems, and it affects all of us. It affects all of us, and that's why I wanted to talk about this in earnestly, and actually say yes, our reaction to ourselves. We've been conditioned to regard ourselves as worth nothing, but those who oppressed us to really lift them up and go, "Oh, Massa, are you okay?" and that kind of thing. And it is something we have to become conscious of, so that we can solve our problem collectively long term, because we don't value ourselves because of the conditioning. The simple thing I said, and that Bible thing, until today, I mean, many people, of course, now I'm seeing there's a lot of people saying, if you slap my left ear, I will slap you hard. I am not going to turn the right cheek. I am going to slap you hard. And that takes a while to actually develop that kind of mentality. That is what we have to really begin to.
You mentioned that, and then you mentioned that, Uncle, because if you look at it, even that Bible that you're talking about, it was an instrument of submission.
Yes. Very much so.
That the slave master can slap you and you're supposed to turn the other cheek. But I want to go into another African proverb.
Please.
That a stranger has very big eyes, but doesn't see what's going on.
No, exactly.
So this is a similar situation in South Africa when we're living with foreign nationals. They have very big eyes, but they just don't see what's going on.
No.
I'll give you maybe another example. I know I have a lot of examples tonight. Like I said, there's a lot of things to cover. Look at the situation of the son of the president in Zimbabwe, who has been on a case or was just basically acquitted yesterday. Well, was convicted, but had to pay a fine.
Yeah.
And then so you look at the situation, that the level of disrespect, that you are a son of a head of state, but you still choose to go to another country illegally. But then look at the second thing. Look at how the mother of that son can no longer come to South Africa because she decided to take matters into her own hands. The same police and the authorities and, that the foreigners are telling us about today.
Yeah.
She decided to, handle. Again, back to what you were saying. Can you imagine if that girl was American? Can you imagine the crap storm if that girl maybe was from the UK, even if she's not a child of a diplomat? So it's very easy, like when the shoe is on the other foot, for foreigners to say, "Oh, but respect the law. You can't do this. You can't beat up people." And I have cases where foreigners have beaten up people in South Africa. And you're like, where are all these lives? Where are all these YouTube lives all the time when this happens?
I hope the way I've been covering this is been balanced, because I've not tried to sort of just come out and just, I've tried to really say I fully appreciate and understand the feeling, the strength of feeling, particularly as Justice Sokeda was said, Sir Justice Sokeda said earlier on, in terms of that there are a lot of pent up frustration and anger, and the fact that people are literally hungry, and a hungry mind you cannot get to because it's because it's been created. So I fully understand. I hope that is coming across in my broadcast. I can't speak for others, of course, but the object of what I try to do here is to really speak in a balanced way.
No, 100%. I would agree, and this is why also I'm referring to you as uncle, because I mean,
thank you.
I see you as
thank you
to me.
Thank you.
Where I come from,
that's African culture. Yes, and I'm really grateful for that. You know what? I'm honored that you see me from that through that point of view, from that perspective. I'm really honored. Thank you so much.
Exactly. So the last part that I would like to sort of explain, because there's a misconception amongst African countries on what exactly South Africa is. I may be going like historically a bit, but you can just Google the stuff at your own time.
Yeah.
So South Africa is not a very old country.
No, it's not.
South Africa was multiple regions with multiple tribes. And we fought amongst each other forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the white people got here, we were fighting with each other. To a point that when the white people got here, they were able to cut deals with other tribes to say, hey, those guys took my land.
Divide and rule.
I'll back you. Exactly. It was just that kind of a mess. But then now what happened is that because the English outsmarted the Dutch that you guys are saying that we're worshipping today. And then the Dutch, in a sense, ended up reporting to the Queen.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So South Africa did not just start with apartheid.
No.
So now when you look at South Africa as a republic, it was in the 50s and the 60s. That is after we were no longer reporting to. So now that is the beginning of the country, like as you know today. 10 years, 4 years after that, African countries were getting independence. Now the question starts from South Africa to say, if Ghana, for instance, gained their independence more or less around the same time as South Korea, what exactly did Ghana do that South Korea did not do, and vice versa?
Yeah.
If Nigeria got their independence 67 years ago, we're the ones who are supposed to be flocking to Nigeria. Nigeria is supposed to be the modern day Egypt, like the ancient day Egypt.
Yeah.
Nigeria discovered oil before the UAE. So what exactly happened? Where did it go wrong?
I can just quickly give you an answer. The colonials got involved. And they controlled the resources using local lackeys. It is just that simple. Local lackeys, and they still control them till today. And we're trying to we need something similar to what has happened in Burkina Faso. To be perfectly frank with you, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have shown us what can be done with very little. But yeah, in the short, that's
okay. This is and I wanted to hear that answer from you, because this is almost like me, a defender, telling a striker how to score a goal. You look at, but you can't score yourself.
Yeah.
You're telling us that go to Cape Town and handle white people.
Yeah.
Thinking. Yeah. But you yourself.
No, look, that is one of the things that I'm looking at. That's why we are supporting. I for one, I am supporting Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, because they are doing exactly. They're not just talking. They are doing, and they're showing us the steps we need to take. This idea of democracy as practiced by these people who are colonials are telling us and using it as a distraction tool for us, it's not working for us, and it's designed for the nations that we have in Africa are not designed to function for Africans. Let me say that again. The nations that we have in Africa are not designed to work for Africans. They're designed to work for the colonials. So until we understand that concept, once you understand that concept, then straight away, the idea of what Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore is doing, General Chani of Niger, and Assimi Goïta of Mali are doing, that becomes a very clear strategy that every African must support wholeheartedly, not even a question. But yeah, I'll pause.
Another like out the park, Uncle, because this is the basic of my argument, is that Nigeria itself is a colonial project.
It is.
Some Nigerians will go as far as saying maybe Nigeria should have been 2 or 3 different countries.
It is. I know that. I mean, I've done my research.
Yeah. Yes. So it's a similar situation that in South Africa.
Yeah.
For instance, I'm from KwaZulu-Natal. So by blood Swati, but it's a very long story, but I'm Zulu.
Yes.
So then you have someone in Nigeria saying, oh, the Zulus that are marching in Durban, wait until they go to Cape Town, or why don't they go to Cape Town? I'm thinking that there's nowhere in my history where Zulus were interested in Cape Town.
You see, that
you know, and you look at how many years were Zulus actually colonized. It's even today, you know, a topic for discussion, because in 1886 we were still fighting. We were still a state.
Yeah.
And then when you look at how much land did the Zulus actually lose,
yeah,
it's another topic for discussion.
It is.
So now, my big problem here is that you have people who are recommending solutions to South Africa, and they've never implemented those solutions in their own countries. And then it becomes a very, very painful point for someone in Africa that has been free for 70 years and telling someone in Joburg to say, don't do this, do that. And the funniest part is that you find a situation where West Africans are telling us, go to the police, report people. And I'm thinking that, have they seen Nigerian police?
Look,
but the problem here, Uncle, is that most of the West Africans are not even living in West Africa anymore. They live in Canada, they live in the UK.
Exactly.
And they're talking from a position of privilege. And they think that the UK police is the same as the police in Zimbabwe.
No.
Nigeria.
Let me be clear. I'll just chip in there. I am very, very clear that the police in Africa, they have been conditioned to do exactly what the colonials did to us when they colonized us. The mindset of every police in Africa has been designed that way, because that was and it's still in the mind of there's a badge in Nigerian police, and it shows maybe they might have taken away. It shows that the elephant or something is standing on the locals, you know, as one of the signs, you know, and that is the mentality that the police have been conditioned to actually impose on the people. And that's, if you go in Africa, it's the same thing. That thing of always subservient to the colonials. Now, what is now happening is that those same practices are still being used against their own people by the people, the lackeys that they've now put in power. So I am well aware of that. But what I guess when you run out of an immediate solution and you're trying to think, okay, look, just to try and stop the killings, the unaliving, you kind of think, okay, maybe just talk about it in that way. But now, if we're going to go and look at proper solution, I think it is a much deeper conversation, and I think that is a way in. Yeah.
So and I want us to get there, Uncle, that if you come to your house tonight and you find there's water on the floor, what's the first thing you do? Do you just mop the water?
No.
Or find the source of
Find the source. Yeah.
But the thing is, what the foreigners are telling us is to start by mopping the water.
Okay.
Don't unalive, don't beat people up and things like that. Like I said in the beginning, the bucket has been going to the well.
And then
today the bottle dropped out.
Yeah, there's no well.
And then nobody gets to understand that, but this has been going on for a very long time. You know, the steam is just, so everything just explodes. And then, like I said, the second part is that social media is not helping things. Because I want to get paid. I want views. I want likes. I want impressions. I'm gonna go on social media and say the wildest thing ever.
Yeah. I'm
living in Canada.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I can't do that.
There's a Nigerian who lives in Joburg. Two problems happen over there. The Nigerian who lives in Joburg sees and gets motivated by what you said. But also there's a South African who sees and gets incensed by what you said.
Yes.
So you are very confident confronting each other. But the person who's in Toronto is collecting all the money because of the engagements and so forth and so forth. This is where we are now. Lastly, the African governments, they cannot just sit and point fingers at South Africans. For someone to walk from Somalia across Ethiopia, You could Google the stuff. Sometimes countries in Zambia, they would find dead bodies in the wilderness of people who died because they walk into South Africa. So you can walk through a country as long as you say, "Oh, I'm just going south." They're like, "Oh no, it's that way." Because the African governments don't want to take responsibility for being able to provide the service for their countries. They just open the southern gates to say, if you're not happy with what I have, go that way.
I mean,
so now my thing with African unity and borderless Africa and all that, just like you have the European Union, not all countries in Europe are part of the European Union.
No, not all.
So you cannot just say, because geographically I'm here, then I deserve the right to be there. No, there needs to be minimum requirements. Because if we do that, we're going to be unequally yoked. Just like in the Middle East, not all oil-producing countries.
You won't find me arguing with your reasoning there. I think if we're going to talk about actually people having free travel in the list of being able to walk and all that, then you have to have the system in place to cope with that. There's no point people going freely somewhere and the system is not built to cope with that kind of thing. That's where we have the situation we have on ground right now. So I have no issue with what you're saying there. It just makes perfect sense to me.
100%, Uncle. So it starts with, like right now, you have SADC. It's not working.
Yeah.
Because maybe 1 or 2 countries actually care about these things. Development, infrastructure, unemployment, and so forth and so forth. The other countries are sitting just folding their arms, saying that you guys do that. Once you've built, then we're going to let our people go to you.
I think
when there's a conflict in Africa,
yeah,
the AU, how many soldiers went to Mozambique when ISIS was in Mozambique? How many soldiers from Nigeria are in Congo? How many soldiers from Nigeria are in Somalia and everywhere else? And South Africa has to provide the beds, the tents in South Africa, and then also provide soldiers who actually die.
Yeah. I think
in these countries,
I think
when there's floods in Mozambique, it's our defense force that goes to Mozambique.
Yeah.
It's not the Nigerian or Ghanaian defense force.
No. What has happened? Nigeria,
Kenya, they sent their defense force all the way to Haiti.
I know, it's madness. It's old, and that's what I mean.
How can you skip?
That's what I mean.
Right next to you, Eritrea and all those other countries.
Yeah.
And then the same people will say, yeah, but let's unite.
Well, the thing is this: when you talk about SADC, ECOWAS, and the northern thing, and then the eastern, all those bodies, it is important to really understand that these are bodies created by the colonials. We are not in control of those bodies. In West Africa, for example, when they are having meetings, the French will be there, the English will be there, the Spanish will be there in the meeting that is meant to be for Economic Committee of West African States. And the thing is that when they sit in those meetings, they are instructing the leaders of those African states to do their bidding, to ignore the people's bidding, what the people want or needs. So
100%.
So those are the kind of things, those structures are not meant for Africa. And that is why I am, and others like me, we are advocating strongly that we need structures very much like the AES. AES is targeted at making sure, I mean, for example, in the AES now, they have their phone system is interconnected, and they've brought down the price of making phone calls for the entire people in those 3 nations. That is the kind of thing that we need. We need leaders that can do that. But of course, those leaders, they are totally independent, and the colonial structures, they are frightened that if this spreads across Africa, they will lose access to our resources that they get on the cheap. So it's important to understand that when we talk about SADC and all these things, we have to be very aware that they are control instruments and they use it to divide. Sometimes they even bang the heads of the East against the West in terms of those bodies, just to create friction.
No, 100%.
You know, so those underlying tones, we can see all of these things now, and I'm hoping that all of us talking about this will support a body, an African body. We need our own African army. We need our own press. We need our own financial structures. We need our own education. We need our own schools. We need, we need to be promoting our African clothes. What I'm wearing now, this is African, adire in Yoruba language. This is, I wear this with pride. I'm sending a signal every time I go out. When it's sunny, I'm putting this on. I'm saying I am African and I'm proud. And I want you to know where I'm from. So it's not just wearing clothes. Whereas when you wear this 5 minutes clothes, and you know what? Let me tell you something. This clothes is over 30 years old. It hasn't changed color. Over 30 years old. So that is what I'm bringing to the table in that way, in terms of when we're going to change things. But carry on. I just wanted to.
So that's the part, because I'll give you an example, right? Mm-hmm. When South Africa took the other country that I cannot even mention on TikTok, the ICJ.
Yeah.
Look at how many African countries just looked at us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a good thing, I'd have to say.
The foreign minister was threatened. She did not resign because Patri was threatened. Mm-hmm. 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 Look at when our president went to the White House and got dressed down in front of the whole world media. And look at who the next African president went there, or African presidents went there and smiled.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to you that it's very easy to say South Africa must unite when it's supposed to unite in South Africa.
Yeah.
In South Africa, we don't have a refugee camp.
No.
Even in Zimbabwe, there's a refugee camp.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to talk about that, because it's much easier to gain likes and engagements if you say something bad about South Africa.
Well, I mean, for me, there, I don't want to talk about Africa. All parts of Africa, I believe that we are relatives, and I don't want to put one down and then put one up, because I'm doing the work of the colonials if I do that. So I'm not. Yes. That's not my. I cannot do that. I just can't. It's not.
Just towards the last thing is if you have maybe say a Nigerian or South African that is about to go to Singapore, Thailand, the UK, Italy, you actually put in an effort to understand where I'm going, what are the do's and what are the don'ts. In South Africa, there's a perception that, oh, you can just walk in. They are black, they speak English. I mean,
that I do.
So you have a situation where, like, when you see these protests that are happening, because I see someone has asked on the chat.
Yes.
About the kids that are being taken out.
Exactly. I was going to ask about that. Yes.
Because there's an assumption that in South Africa, there's a citizenship by birth. In South Africa, that doesn't exist.
Okay.
A child that is born of two foreign parents.
They still remain foreign.
Foreign.
Yeah, that's clear. Of course.
The USA is different.
Yes.
But a person who lives in the USA will come on live and say, oh, you guys are just discriminating.
Yeah, I mean,
but when it suits them, they're like, oh, but you to follow the law.
Yeah. I think.
And do you even know what the law is?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I always say, just to interject, is on this platform, I always try and say, look, it is important that each one of us translate the constitution of our nations to our people so they know their rights. Because it's not all the same laws, like you rightly said. And one law in another country is not going to be applicable in another country. So we cannot just assume. You have to, that saying, when in Rome, do as Romans, that kind of thing is very important. So when you come to South Africa, I haven't been, I'd love to come. But if I were to go to South Africa, I'd be looking at how you guys want things done. I'd follow what you want, how you do things, because I want to make sure that we.
The same as if you are going to Brazil.
Exactly.
Exactly. Whatever.
So
the Roman thing is because Roman law had consequences. That's why when they said, when in Rome, do as a Roman.
Exactly.
Because if you step out of line, you might find yourself hanging on a cross upside down.
Yeah. So
because there were do's and don'ts.
mm,
So what happens with Africans is that they invest a lot of time in researching and reading the laws of the country where they are going to, especially the countries that they know that there's consequences. So they don't do the same thing when they go to Saudi Arabia. If Saudi Arabia says, hey, it's prayer time at 6 p.m., everybody inside. They're not going to say, oh, but you need to follow the law.
No. They'll just follow it.
Go to Singapore,
Yeah.
they ask you, do you understand what the law is here? So when you get in trouble later on, you don't say,
exactly.
I do not know.
Exactly. That's it. And
so
that
we put so much emphasis and efforts on understanding the laws of
other
countries that are far, far away from us, except the ones that are just neighborly to us.
I'm just going to push you a little bit.
Yeah.
In the very instant of that, those kids that went to school and were sent away, what is your take on that? How do you children who are 5, 6 years old or maybe 10 and they get been sent to what's the word, and they get chased out? How do you view that? Is that fair on them?
It's not fair.
Okay.
But remember, the children are not at the age of responsibility yet. So me and you are looking at this in a moral or emotional way. But what happens is that the one who's at the age of responsibility is a parent.
Okay. Should they have
the parent knows that, well,
should they have taken them out of school then?
That's where the law comes in.
Okay.
If, say, for instance, you commit a crime and your wife commits a crime in a country like Botswana, for instance, that has an unaliving law, do they then not unalive you because you have a child?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
be implemented.
Yeah, but I don't. The nuance, I think I'm just looking at the nuance now. There was nothing that said that the children couldn't go to school, and certainly I think they. I'm not sure. I don't know whether they paid school fees or it's free. I don't know, but I know that they go to those school on a regular. It's a routine that they're used to, and the parents probably did not think that would spill over into children in school. So that's okay. You can still go to school, but not knowing that actually everything is actually turned upside down. So
yes, consequences. If you believe there's going to be no consequences, you just continue doing something even though you know it's incorrect.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
And then now, because some of these children, there was on the radio here last year, you find a situation where there's a 19-year-old woman whose parents came into South Africa illegally. And then she's born here, but then the parents has unfortunately sadly passed away. So now she has to be deported.
Okay.
She doesn't know any other country, but at the same time, there's no record of her ever being born in South Africa.
Oh my gosh.
At all.
Oh boy.
These are the kind of situations that we end up facing with. And I think you'd remember that there was in the USA, there was a situation where there were parents that came from Iraq illegally and went to the USA. And the brother that they caught there after the parents that passed away, the brother had to be deported back to Iraq. And unfortunately, he passed away because, Iraq was still in a state of conflict.
Yes.
So this is where the problem starts when
of course,
emotions intermingle with the law.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you ask a church, the church will say, no, don't do it. But if you ask a lawyer or a judge, will say, what does the law say?
Yeah. The law says, but I mean, of course, that. Yeah.
At the end of the day, the children are not at the age of responsibilities. The parents make those decisions. And then when those decisions come back to haunt the parents, and then they use the children to gain favor.
Okay.
I think just one last thing. You probably saw this very funny story of a Nigerian woman in Ireland who came to South Africa, and then when she got papers in South Africa, and then went to Ireland as an asylum seeker, saying that she's South African, and the Irish government was able to figure that out, and then now they were deporting her back to South Africa. And then South Africans are saying, but
No.
why are you deporting her here?
No,
I mean, she needs to go that direction. And Ireland was like, we're not getting involved. She came from there. You guys were deported to Nigeria. A crazy thing. But the thing is, there's children involved.
Yeah.
And the children are already going to schools over there, performing in sports.
Wow.
And all that. But because an adult, a grown-up, took a decision that they know it's illegal. And then when the consequences will have to be borne by children.
Yeah, it is.
Based on the decisions of a parent.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me just, before you go, Ola Luxury.
Yes,
go ahead. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
I have to breathe down a little bit because when it comes to children, I just go completely bonkers. Right. You are saying that all those children that is in that school are illegal. Is that what you're saying?
Not all the children.
Okay.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the number was around 70 to 80%. So not 100% of the children.
Okay.
And I am from that city, by the way.
Let's take it from the top. Right. If the protest is going on and you are quite aware that they are going to go into school, did you discuss it with the principal at all?
That's on the parent.
No. There's a principal in the school which all those children are going. Before they go into the school, did they tell the principal and give the principal the warning that if you are illegal, please do not bring your children to school?
It doesn't look like it happened. But like I say,
that should have,
a parent will still have to make a decision.
No, not parents. No.
The children don't take themselves to school, man. It's the parents that take the kids to school.
Trying to place a law. You are trying to sort of, confront people that is illegal in your country. And you are trying to address it with children. Handling a children is completely different from an adult. I personally, if I'm a principal of the school, or if I'm leading a protest, and it's going to affect the children, I will have notified the principal of the school. This is going to happen, and they will pass it on to the family. Now, if the family did not now yield to that warning, then they can do anything from there. But in this situation, there's no warning. And either people like it or not, that children is going to carry that emotion for a long period. They are going to be emotionally imbalanced for a long period. And this is why when they bring this out into the media, this is what you are portraying to the world. So how do you feel, or how do you think other people will be thinking? It's quite deep what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You feel other people will be thinking? It's really, really bad to actually spread that thing onto the children.
Yeah, let me.
I agree, man.
You should have made something in place so that they will kick to be. I understand what you're saying about drugs, a lot of things that is going on. I totally support. Your government should have kicked everybody out. Then start from scratch. They should kick everybody out.
Yes.
But from the look of things, a lot of things is going completely out of order. And from the look of things, it's going to lead to war.
Yeah, can I say something?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So that is why, I'll just say two things. That is why I mentioned the other case of a Nigerian lady who came to South Africa as an asylum seeker and was able to acquire documents. And then when she was then legalized in South Africa and then went to now Ireland with her children, with her family, as an asylum seeker in Ireland. And then this is, I get it, she's a grown-up, she makes her own decisions. But what I'm trying to say is, even her children, they were also living in Ireland for however many years, involved in sports. Who knows? Maybe they were about to be picked for national teams and things like that. But now, here's the thing: the children don't even know if they're South African or Nigerian because they've just found out they're not Irish. And then the Irish government is saying, we'll send them back to South Africa. And the South African government is saying, no, they don't belong here. They need to go to Nigeria. And then the Irish government said, well, you guys sort it out amongst yourselves. So I agree with you. What I'm saying is the decisions of the parents, because principal or not, if what I'm doing, I am fully aware that I'm breaking the law, one day the chickens will come home to roost. And I cannot now threat my child and say, but I have a child. Because the children don't take themselves to school. It's the parent that decides you're going to go to school A or school B. It's the parent that decides that you're going to go to country A or country B. So the second part that I need to say is similar with I'll say powder because I don't want to block Uncle's life. You know that happens to have a lot of territorial fights. I said to Uncle that, the videos that South Africans, there's another video that was out, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, in Belleville in Cape Town. I don't want to say the G word, I'll just say groups of Nigerians fighting over territory and shooting each other. Imagine you, madam, maybe
say pew pew because they don't like that word. Just say pew pew instead of.
Yeah, so many words we have to use. So imagine you yourself, madam, maybe you get caught up in a crossfire. The first thing that's going to be said is, one, there's crime in South Africa. Number two, what is the government doing about it? Nobody will now then say, hey, these two people were involved in, not the L business, and they end up having a scuffle over that. The same way you're asking now, how does it make us look? It's a problem because in South Africa, you would know that, say, for instance, the tourism industry is a highly grossing industry. And yes, there's been situations in South Africa where you find that maybe a German woman was unfortunately unalived, going about her business and things like that. And if it comes out later that actually the person who committed the crime was not even a South African, but the damage is huge. Because the Germans who are going to come next, they don't care if the person who did that is from, a neighboring country. And you probably saw even back in 2010 towards the World Cup, there'll be something that happens all the way in Congo. And the headlines will be, will the World Cup in South Africa be safe? And you think, but there's 3 or 4 countries away from us.
Okay. Another question I want to ask, playing on my mind, after all this incident that is happening at the present, is your government doing anything to it at all? Because it's getting out of hand.
Let me say something, ma'am. So I was trying to highlight to Uncle earlier that unlike in other African countries, maybe Uncle, you're a historian. After 1994, how many South African presidents served their full term? Not even one. In South Africa, not a single president after, Nelson Mandela obviously had to abdicate after the first term, but Thabo Mbeki did not serve. And Zuma, I think you remember, you can still find videos on YouTube, was basically removed. Right now, the president that we have, the party, as much as it's all famous around the world, but got 40%, 60% of South African voters do not believe that they are still capable of running the country. I said earlier that the riot is the language of unheard. The people are not out there in the streets because they have confidence in the government. They're out on the streets because they don't have the confidence in the government. We're not going there to celebrate. It's not a party. It's not a samba. We are going there because we know that we cannot trust this government anymore. When you see the Kenyans on the streets, they're not going there to celebrate their government. The Arab Spring, they were not going there to celebrate Mohammed Sisi. So the sign is, this is what I said earlier, that a stranger has very big eyes but doesn't see what's going on.
Yeah.
We are not going there because we're going to celebrate the ANC. And if you look at the people that were in that march, the civil organizations, multiple civil organizations, there's multiple political parties who say we want the same thing. This is our country. But the problem is this nostalgia in Africa that we helped South Africa or whatever, and South Africans are like, no, you helped the ANC, and the ANC is corrupt. We tried to tell you. They took that money. The leaders that were living in the UK, they lived in the hotels, they flew around the world, they ate nice, We're the ones who were getting beat up over here. We're the ones who had dogs set on us.
Very good point. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, their children went to the universities in the UK. They went to the best universities in the world. So now, but the thing is, there's this perception that the ANC is a royal house in South Africa, and all Black people in South Africa, I don't know, somehow are the descendants of this royal house. There is no understanding that the ANC was not the only liberation movement in South Africa. There is no understanding that not all liberation leaders believed that you need to go somewhere else. They believed that the war was here. Why would you go to Tunisia? Why would you go to Nigeria? Winnie Mandela, she was here. Steve Biko did not go to any country.
Yes.
Robert Sobukwe, he was here. So, but there's this perception that, your leaders were living here. Which leaders? The corrupt ones, the ones that have been trying to fight for the past 30 years. They took your money and blew it. I'm sorry to say it.
And that's the thing. You see.
Sorry, just one last thing, Uncle. This is why when they came back, they wanted to maintain the same standard of living that they got accustomed to in the USA and in the UK. They did not come back and live in the villages. They did not come back and live in the townships. They went to go live in Houghton, in Hyde Park, and drove around in fancy cars and things like that. They didn't care about the white people that today you're saying that we must fight because they live in the same lifestyle as them. You got scammed.
So what is going on? Because they are not saying anything. It looks as if they are still keeping quiet, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, ma'am, if you have 40%, you know very well that whatever that you say, 60% of the people are going to disagree with you. And I don't know if you did see on the news, local government elections in South Africa in November 2026.
Okay.
They're going home. Unfortunately, there will be no ANC after that.
Okay.
These are the signs that there will be no ANC after that. And you saw the wave in Botswana, parties that have been there forever, they just got swept away. You see in Zimbabwe, the old crocodile wants to cling on to power and wants to change the constitution because he knows he could be next. You saw the first woman president in Namibia. Like I keep saying to you, strangers have very big eyes, but they don't see what's going on. South Africa is next.
Yeah. So, okay.
Buy the books, buy the documentaries, but that's all you know about the ANC after that.
That's true.
Protest then.
The protest is because there are other things that you can see in South Africa's TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's other things that you can see on South Africa's TV. Like, for instance, we have 2 commissions, but you can especially focus on one commission called the Matlanga Commission that exposes the corruption in the South African police. It is shocking, even for me as a South African. So that is also going parallel to what's going on. And then obviously the foreigners, they just think that they're the only thing we're concerned about. The concern comes from the fact that corruption, if it's not curbed, we're going to be the next, classic example of an African country. And the people that are out there on the streets, they're not 70-year-olds, they're not 60-year-olds. They're in their mid-20s all the way to their 30s. And get what the irony is. The irony is most of those people have never had a job in their lives in the New South Africa.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
So the next war in South Africa is not going to be fought between the people of, the Ranakala and us. It's going to be between the rich and the poor.
As long as Sibon, as long as you are conscious that you're aware that that is going to be, you don't leave the door open for the colonials to step in again and recolonize by majority, being the majority in the voting. I don't know how you will do that. That's the concern.
That's a concern. It's almost like having a rat and a snake in your house. Which do you deal with first? So we have a situation where we're like, these ones are in power. They're the first, they're the priority. Not that we don't think that, because people say, but when are you going to Cape Town? We think that no.
Okay.
The people in Cape Town are not the ones who take the oath of office. The oath of office is taken in Pretoria. These are the guys that say that, these are the guys that handle our tax money. These are the guys that say that they will protect us. And these are the guys that are stealing from us.
Yeah.
Maybe down the line we'll get there, but right now we have the people that are sitting in office, the ones that are taking the oath of office.
This thing is quite complicated. That thing is going to go on for years. How are you going to fight that?
Yes, ma'am. This is another thing. I had a conversation similar to this with my friend Ella today. That another thing that foreigners don't realize is that South Africa did not come because of negotiations. They could not negotiate with us there to go to an old man, who was living the last years of his life. But they could not come to us in the townships. They could not come to us in the villages. Unfortunately, and it's sad to say this, that South Africa's history is written in blood.
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
It's not written in pieces of paper, meetings in Switzerland and things like that. There was no diplomacy. There's a phrase in South Africa that we like to use, that was used in the late 80s to say, to make the country ungovernable. That's how we brought the people of that other color to the table.
Yeah.
They could not go home and sleep in peace anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Every night it was something. Every week it was something. Every weekend it was something.
Yeah.
So that's the formula that the South Africans have.
Okay. Good point. Guys, Sibone, thank you so much. Ola Luxury, thank you. Thank you so very much, guys.
Thank you for your time, ma'am Ola. So thanks for your time.
Thank you. And I'll be back again and cover. I will follow up on this. I'll be talking about other topics, and I'll bring about this issue about the villa and the drugs and all of that. I'll do that as a separate topic another time. But for now, I want to thank you all so much. Thank you for joining me. And I'll be back again real soon. Thank you, and bye for now. Bye, guys. Bye. Okay. So, yeah. Now I'm gonna have a break now. Thank you so much. I'll be back in a bit. Thank you so much, Sally Health Clinic 3034. Thank you so much. And for